Call the Albany Selectboard meeting for June 8th, 2022 to order at 5:30 p.m. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. New business. Approval of the May 25th Selectmen meeting minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that. Is there any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, I'll call it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Approval of the June 8th consent file, review and sign manifest in the amount of $3,639.44 and $5,073.48. This includes payroll and accounts payable for 6/1 and 6/8/2022. Review, discuss, and approve or deny local approval for construction of an individual sewage disposal system at 19 Camp Road, map 14, lot 35. Can I have a motion to approve the consent file?
Make a motion to approve the consent file.
I'll second that. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Review, discuss, and approve or deny a request for an abatement equal to the veteran's credit for map 3, lot 61, sublot 19, and also approve or deny the veteran's credit for the 2023 tax year. I think we have some information on that.
Yeah, so she wrote the letter. So what happened for this year is this person was getting the veterans tax credit in Conway for her, I believe, her spouse. I believe she's a surviving spouse. I don't think it was hers, it was her husband's. He's deceased. She was getting it in Conway. They have the all veterans tax credit, though. We only have the optional. So I said that's not exactly the same thing, and the state law requires that we see the DD 214. So I believe she did file without the DD 214, and you guys had to deny it because the state law says we need to see, because there's a few conditions on the optional that we have. You have to have served during certain years, so we have to see his years of service, which is on the DD 214. It has to be an honorable discharge. They have to have served, I believe, more than 90, so there's some parameters that are just on the DD 214. That's why you have to see it. So she had sent me some information from Conway showing that they got it, but they didn't keep the DD 214 because once we see it, we're not allowed to keep it.
Right.
So I explained all that to her. She put it to you. You had to deny it because she had made the request when I believe they bought the property in October of last year and realized they didn't have the DD 214 any longer. They had made the request to the VA in January, and they just got it last Thursday, I think. So I said, there's nothing we can do. We cannot give it to you. The first issue bills have already gone out. You didn't have the DD 214. The deadline is April 15th, but you can write a letter to the Board of Selectmen and explain what happened, and then they could choose to abate an amount equal to what you would have gotten the veterans tax credit, which is $500. In addition, she has filled out a new PA 29 asking for the veterans tax credit for the 2023 tax year, which she certainly does qualify for. I checked all the dates, and so you have two things before you, two separate motions that I'm going to need. One is on, do you want to abate $500 based on the fact that they couldn't get the DD 214 from the VA? And the other one is just approving the veterans tax credit for 2023.
I will make a motion to approve the abatement for map 3, lot 61, sublot 19, was it? Sublot 19.
I second.
Discussion.
No, he's due the credit. He served. He's a veteran. And I think it's the right thing to do.
It was a timely
That's exactly right.
thing
Yeah.
on the Veterans
Right.
Affairs
Yeah.
office.
They tried.
I think they're very short-staffed since COVID and
Everybody.
As everybody.
and backlogged probably as well.
Any further discussion?
Nope.
Call to a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Next is approve or deny the veterans tax credit for the 2023 year for the same property. I will make a motion to approve the veterans tax credit for map 3, lot 61, sublot 19 for the 2023 year.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
second.
Any discussion? Call it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Review and discuss the use of government pit in Albany for exploration of geological formations. Now, this is an interesting one.
So I guess the guy's a rock hound, like he wants to take his son out, looking for crystals, and I don't know if our pit is open to the public, and I don't know if there's any
What pit
liability.
would that be?
There is a designated area.
Rick Highland said there's a pit
Yeah.
off of past Conway.
It's owned
It's
by
not
the
ours.
Frechettes. That's
Up on
not
High Street.
ours.
But there's a sign with a rock hammer on it.
Oh,
With an
yeah,
arrow
that's-
going that way.
But that's going
I've
towards
been
the
out there.
boats. Yeah, that's
It's not our property.
it's not on our property.
It belongs to the Frechettes, because I'll look it up and give them their mailing
Yeah.
address.
Yeah.
FRECHETTE.
I didn't know if it was
And-
National Forest or was it
I thought it was
designated
National
place.
Forest. I thought.
Yeah.
And it's
There's
off High
National
Street.
Forest behind,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's off
But-
High Street.
but it could very well be mistaken that this
It's
gentleman would.
off past Conway.
Well, they got a parking lot and everything for it.
It's on.
To
I think
go
it's right off
rock
past
hounding,
Conway.
Okay.
It's not up to us, what you're right, it's,
Yeah.
it's definitely not to them. But if he wants to go follow the sign, it may, I know there used to be a sign.
Well, I'm not gonna encourage
Posted.
him to trespass if it's private.
No, but there's a
Then he-
sign posted that gives restrictions and use and things like that. It is a popular place for people to go
Yeah,
rock hounding.
it's like right before Little Eddie. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
is it High Street?
I
Or the
don't.
next street after that?
Because the pits that I'm talking about is on High Street.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's either High Street
And
or
I
the
think
one
Little
after
Eddie's
that.
further up.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's that one that cuts off, we can picture it. It's either High Street or the one.
In any
before.
manner, it's not
No, right.
town-owned property.
Right, I'm not giving somebody permission for something that isn't town-owned,
Well,
and,
just for information,
yeah, he's welcome to come into town hall, look at the tax maps and figure out who it is, and I can try to locate it for him and share him owner information, but I'm gonna just write back and say we can't give permission, it's not our.
It's not
yeah,
town
that's all.
It
property.
may appear to be town property,
But
but
it's
it is
not.
not.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
that's easy.
Review and discuss whether the town is interested in a budget with White Mountain Oil and propane, and I would say, no, it's not necessary. You budget a certain amount, that money is available, and there's no need to budget the same amount every month for oil and propane.
It's a lot too. I'm
Yeah.
hoping it comes down before we have to
Yeah.
bite that bullet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I would say no.
I agree.
Okay.
Review and discuss the status of alleged zoning violation, 8 Ross Farm Road. Apparently, there's been no
Structural work.
no
done.
structural
According
work.
to the administrator, and I had him put that to me in an email, so I put that in your packets that, but the sister then wrote and said, I let her know by email because she was the one that complained. And she wrote back and said, "Thank you for updating me on his response. I don't believe that to be true nor accurate since the real estate agent himself stated to me that my sister would not allow him to show the house to a client due to the floor being unsafe because her boyfriend was fixing the joist and weight-bearing beam." And then she gives me the real estate agent's name and number. I'm not
No, that's not.
doing this.
That's beyond the town's scope.
Yeah, I didn't respond. I'm not going to do any further investigation. If we had a code enforcement officer, I might turn it over to him, but this goes too far. And I'm certainly not going to call somebody a liar.
And we
get
don't have the
him-
right to enter their house.
No, it's
so
a civil matter now. They need to,
Yeah.
Agreed.
figure this out between them.
Agreed.
But I wanted to let you know that we got the administrator who is responsible physically for the property right now, his answer in writing, so.
Right. Alrighty, letter G, review and discuss the result in the Hampshire Department of Revenue Administration 2020 assessment review. There was a lot there.
It's pretty bad.
I'll take responsibility for that.
The only thing we passed on is the revale. So I have addressed the exemptions and tax credits. I sent letters to all of them and second letters to some of them. I have not written letters to the veterans tax credits that have trusts because I'm supposed to get a PA 33 from them, but that'll be the next thing I go through. And then the current use is just going to be a bear because you really have to go, and I might have her come back and help me with that because it's a lot.
It is a lot.
I have never worked in a town where the current use files are up to snuff because current use started in 1972 and it had way less
Crazy.
requirements then than they do now.
Crazy.
But you can't take somebody out of current use just because you don't have a map or a full. And they say you should. I think that's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
And I don't think we'll win at BTLA if we start doing that.
Agreed.
So I think we just need to start chipping away at the current use files and
One property at a time.
and sending a letter on.
Years and years ago, I started on it with,
I saw some
Jojo
notes and needs a
Belleville.
map and
yep,
but
and
it's a
a,
lot.
and a forestry plan, and
Stewardship.
I
No.
did mail, and I never got anything back, and
Now that I would say that if they're getting the extra for a stewardship plan and they are not updating that, then you should remove them from stewardship because they do, it's kind of like the recreational adjustment. If you get the extra 20% recreational adjustment and then you post your land for no hunting and fishing, then you should not be getting it,
Right.
period. That's not how it works.
Right.
So the stewardship plans I think is kind of low hanging fruit. I might start with that, but some of these files need everything.
everything. So old.
And the people that own it now weren't the ones that put it in current use, so
Right.
they're probably not even aware. So I'll start ticking away at it, but it's a nut to crack.
Do you have help to do all that?
No, I mean it's extra. Like
It's just stuff that
it's
you-
extra stuff. So right now we're
Okay.
kind of a little busy. So I don't like I sent those letters out in March right after town meeting. You get that little lull after you do all the stuff from town meeting. I had a little lull and I sent those letters out, and then I sent follow-up letters out in May because I had a little lull, and these are the people I hadn't heard from. And we removed quite a few veterans exemptions, and we only had 3 elderly, and we removed 2 of those. So I mean it's worth doing. It's just it's sending the letter and then remembering to follow up and cross the people off. And I never heard from these 10 people, and sending another letter. Like you can't make them answer. You can only send a letter, but that's all we're required to do. And I kept all the letters that we
diligence.
sent in the files. So I've updated everything. And in 5 years when we get reviewed again, this falls within the 5 years, so we'll be good on those items. But the current use is going to be a bear.
Definitely.
So.
Agreed.
I'm working on it.
All right, town administrator report.
So I just got this today. Our local hazard mitigation plan update is due this year. We have to do it every 5 years. So we did it in 2017, and we applied for the grant, and we got the grant. So June Garneau emailed me. She doesn't have any openings until the fall. She wants us to put together, the potential team. I didn't really look at who participated last time, but I'm assuming you ping Jim Ennis and Curtis and.
Yeah, Jim never showed up, but Curtis came to a couple. Chief Solomon, Chief Ricciardi, people from the
Conservation Planning Board.
Yep.
Yeah, so I thought the next step would be to reach out to those people, see what their availability will be. She says, I think in her email, that Tuesdays and Wednesdays go fast, so we should book meetings now. I don't work Thursdays and Fridays, so
Right.
I'll do the best I can, but
Yeah.
I have constraints on the time. So
Exactly.
I thought what I'd do is like ping her, see what month we're talking about in the fall, because we'll be doing budgets as well.
Exactly.
So in like September, October, get a couple of Tuesdays or Wednesdays and
Yeah,
see.
I'm in budget season as well, so.
And you have a budget committee, so you got budget committee and selectmen. So, I mean, I'll do what I can do. I mean, I don't think all of us need to be at every meeting, but we do
No,
have to
but the more
participate
people-
for the soft match
Right.
for the grant,
More
so.
people that go, you kind of get paid for going to these meetings, and the town gets money for it
Yeah.
to reimburse
I
our
did that
expense.
one year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind taking the lead, except we will be in budget season, and I can't commit to,
Yeah, and I don't even think even if she was available, I don't think we could do much better than that because we've got to meet with Chief Solomon about,
Contract.
the new contract. I'm still trying to put together written letters about the flap grant. I mean, we've got some stuff that we're addressing, so I don't think that we could do it much sooner anyway.
right?
But the fall is bad because, again, budget, all the
For
things.
me,
year
obviously,
end.
Wednesday would be better for me because I got Tuesday probably.
Yeah,
budget
she's saying that
meetings.
we need 6 to 8 2-hour meetings.
Well,
I feel like that's a lot. I don't feel like I even did that in bigger towns, but that might be the commitment. I think we need to try to streamline it as much as possible. I think part of it is that we don't have a fire department. They need to participate and we need to identify our hazards, but a lot of this has not changed either.
That's
So
true.
it's just going through and basically identifying if there's any new things and
Or
updating.
any changes made. I don't
So-
know how you all feel.
I'll start the
It does make a difference if we are there and participate and.
Well, you know your town better. I mean, I can take notes but I don't know the town the way you guys do.
I have no problem participating. I can make it, so I say.
Either or Tuesday or Wednesday?
Either
or
one, either one.
Do you want to take the lead?
I can take lead,
But then the
Whatever
meetings would
that
all
might
have to be in the
entail.
evening, right?
yeah.
And I can't do that at all.
Yeah.
Well, I could do some during the day, but I don't know about everyone else.
I can't do it during the day.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I can take vacation time to do
I'm
it.
sure that Jim and Solomon and Curtis could probably, I would like to see some of both. Because I think you get different people during the day than you get in the evening. But we'll see what the availability is and start reaching out now. Because I think the sooner we start booking these for everybody's sake, like if you can calendar it even for September now,
Yes.
then when you get to September and you go, oh well,
Yeah,
Yeah,
book that
I
because
know.
you're
Yeah.
really busy.
that's true.
But we'll try to figure it out and see what we can. Because I want to do it this year. We got the grant.
Yes.
She's got us on her sheet as 23,
So,
24.
we
I
have
don't
the
want
grant.
this to stretch into 24.
But we got the grant for
Yes,
2022.
it's all been, yep, I got, they sent the fully executed, because it went before governor and council.
Yep.
I don't exactly know when, but
And when's the last spend by date?
December 22nd, 2024. But I don't want a hazard mitigation plan to go, because then we'll be looking to be doing our emergency management plan. Like, you're never gonna be done.
I think that was done probably 3 years ago. Oh my God.
Yeah, I think you're looking at 2025 for that. 2024 maybe, because it was done before I got here in 2020.
I think it was that year.
So can you
2019.
schedule these things and then we pick what dates we can, or do you want us to pick dates we can? And then
Well, first I
schedule?
need to identify who the potential team members are gonna
Okay.
be. Like, so they make this recommendation on the US Forest Service, Department of Transportation, Forest and Lands, Homeland Security, Select Board members, Town Administrator, Planning Board, Town Planner, Police Chief, Fire Chief, Emergency Management, Health So I'll reach out to these people and say, look, we need to start doing this. They're not available to the fall. I'll send the September and October calendars and give me 5 dates that are good for you.
Okay.
And then basically you just keep sending it out until you get the most number of people you can get for the first
Okay.
couple of meetings. And then we'll have I'm sure she'll do a kickoff meeting that explains what she's gotta do, and they're all pretty much the
And
same.
it's all like, she's.
Yeah, there's a
Everything's
template.
all
It's
ready.
via
I mean,
Zoom.
Yeah, hers
Yeah.
is via
Oh,
Zoom,
good. Yeah,
which we
that's
don't
easy.
have because
That's great.
it's not secure, but
Yeah.
I don't care how they do it. Yeah, I mean, I think, again, reaching out to the potential teams, see who we can get, who's mostly available on what days, and then back into it of, you know, the police chief or the sheriff hasn't participated and the fire chief has, so let's do a day that's good for him, just so we get everybody's view
Right.
at one time or another.
Okay,
Yeah, sounds good.
yeah. Yeah, get an idea what everyone's thoughts are.
Yeah.
All right, I'll start trying to put that together. And that's all I had.
All right.
It was a quiet,
And
quiet agenda for me.
we have no appointments, and our old business, I believe nothing has changed on our old business, so there's really nothing to discuss.
No, I haven't heard from the bench woman either,
Anybody?
so I didn't really push it because I know Jen's not available for the next meeting, so
Right.
put it off till July because that's a fun thing to do.
Right, yeah.
The presentations, that everybody wants to be there for the
Right,
presentation.
right. Planning board meets next Monday evening, 6:30 PM. Carroll County broadband, nothing new there. Correspondence, review of notice of quarterly franchise fee payment from Charter Communications. Whoopee.
That's a good one.
Review programming change, so they give us less money and they take more channels from us. Shall I continue?
No, no,
Review notice from Eversource on distribution, tree and reliability. I always think they've been pretty proactive about keeping the trees
yeah.
away
Yeah.
from the lines as much as they can. And although we lose power often, they're usually pretty good
It's
about getting it back
really
on
fast.
Yeah.
quickly. So
It's pretty interesting, isn't it, that 58% of the outages are tree related?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all the, you know, they have Asplund and other companies trimming trees all the time, and you still have 58% are tree related.
yeah,
That's crazy.
tall trees.
Yeah.
Public comment, Dorothy? Oh, she's not here.
Oh, sad.
Dorothy, where are you?
I just had one thing I just remembered. Jason, we were gonna see if he wanted to meet with the board, you suggested in the email, or if you want me to, I emailed him, I haven't heard back,
Regarding,
regarding the road project on 16.
oh, right, what's his name, Arsenal? Is it
I
Arsenal?
just, all I got was Jason.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason he wanted to meet with you and me first,
No, I didn't hear
But-
that, but that's,
but I don't think you and I have anything to say that the rest of the board, I feel like, I know there's been some discussion, and even I've heard it from residents about these low-profile rumble strips.
yeah.
And I think that's gonna be the toughest nut to crack, really, because I agree with Dorothy, they're a safety issue and they have their use. But with as close as these houses are, I mean, we saw it on 28 and Route 28 that goes through Alton. They put them in without a public hearing and they had to remove them all.
Oh, yeah.
They put them in the center and on the fog lines.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling you, there is not a truck on the face of the earth that can stay in between that. And, you know, there's all kinds of camps and houses. And so I can't remember, I think they left the ones in the middle and they went to the low profile and they had to get rid of the ones on the fog lines. So I don't know if there's some compromise that can be reached.
I think here, they have to follow certain guidelines, and this part of Route 16, they could not put it on the fog lines. They
Anyway,
could only put it on the center.
so then, I mean, you guys have to decide whether it's worth the safety issue for the fact that people won't get to sleep through the night. If you live on, and
I don't
not
know.
just close to 16,
Yeah.
it's,
I don't
you can
think
hear
that-
them from a
Do you
distance.
hear?
They don't stop till Madison. and
Just right down the street.
I can, on a clear day, I can hear them. And I know when they first put them in Madison, we got complaints from people up in the hills and they could hear it. And there's one spot I hit every morning, no matter what I do, I just zoom. And
Take a sip of your coffee.
yeah, I don't think the thought was that they saved one life, then they were worth all the aggravation.
And they do, they have,
Which is true.
I mean, they have good statistics now because they've been around that stretch of, is it 202 or 9 that goes through Henniker where you can see Pat's Peak?
9.
They have
Oh,
saved,
Yeah.
they had, I think in 10 years, they had 40 cross the center line accidents. Something like 30 of them resulted in injury, 10 in deaths, and it has pretty much stopped
Yeah.
there. But
I bet we're
Again-
close to that here with deaths, because they record all of that data.
I mean, it
But
might
we also
be
have a
interesting.
different road. Ours is more twisty,
And
turny
narrow,
around here.
and I think that it might be worth hearing the statistics before you actually, and also they'll have to have a public hearing on them, so, I mean, I think that people who live along 16 will have an opinion. And,
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a reason for Kelly and I to meet with them first.
No.
Do you want me to just invite them to a July Selectmen's meeting?
Sure.
Put
And
an
I'm sure
agenda in?
there's a report available with the statistics, if I haven't seen it before.
I think the
have.
scope of the project, from what I've heard, is much larger. They're widening the road and they're taking away a lot of the blind spots,
The curves.
Oh.
the curves, and
Yeah.
if they're widening the road, they may be talking about the outside rumble strip.
No,
So I
let's-
think we just, if I got a chance to talk to them, which I should, I can find that out, but I heard it's not till
2025.
2025, right? And whether we have any say in it at all,
No, but the public should.
we should. We should have a
This is the
say whether
perfect
they,
venue for that.
whether they listen or not, is another thing.
Well, I think you meet with them first and, you know,
Yeah,
see
In
what the
July,
scope of the
yeah.
project is and what the questions would be. And then, again, they have to have a public hearing. I'm sure they have to have a public hearing closer to finalizing the actual project.
Right.
But I don't see any reason for Kelly and I to hear it first. I mean,
Right.
I
No.
think we just have him do a short presentation and
Great.
then tell us what his expectations for us are and then,
Yeah.
and what he thinks, because they have very strict rules on public hearings.
Right.
Where they have to be, when they have to have them, who gets invited, how they publicize them, so.
I think we should invite them in, and then I can carry on after that, and then keep everybody in the loop if anything.
Well, yeah, then you can kind of be the liaison
I
to
think it's gonna
him.
be a one-time, what do you guys think, and then they're gonna
Yeah.
move on
Right.
with it. 'Cause
Yeah, I
know
think they've already heard from NCC, what is it?
North
North
Country
Country Council. I think they've already talked to them. But I don't know that we're well represented on that anymore. I think that was something, didn't Steve Knox used to do
Yeah.
that?
And Rob was very active
Rob,
in
yeah.
the transportation committee,
Yeah, Was it
TCC
the TAC committee,
committee.
yeah. So,
TCCC, yeah.
I mean, I haven't had a lot to do with North Country Council, so maybe it's good to just get a kickoff meeting and see
Yeah,
what the project entails. I mean, he gave us some of that,
yeah, but. not
but if
enough.
he's got some statistics to go with that, that'd be interesting
Yeah,
to weigh those before you.
okay.
All right, I'll get him in at a July meeting.
Sounds good.
And then I'm gonna reach out to Steve Solomon as well.
Yeah.
And see what we're looking at for July or August for, do you wanna do like a meeting half an hour early and do like a negotiation with him, or do you wanna do, cause negotiations are non-public, so do you want him to come in at the end of a meeting and do a short non-public? Do you want him to come in at a beginning and do a short how do you wanna handle?
I think we should do it at the end, like we normally do.
Yeah, I don't see
Okay.
any reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
What about the next meeting? She's gonna be gone. Do you two feel comfortable signing stuff? And I don't foresee, I mean, I don't have anything huge pending right now, but stuff happens.
As long as you're comfortable.
I'm fine, yeah.
Good, yeah.
Yeah. Good. I'm good with it.
Do it so I don't have to.
Okay.
Good.
Scales.
All right, so we'll keep the June 22nd meeting at 5:30.
No non-public, I imagine,
No.
not tonight. Okay. I will make a motion to adjourn at 5:59 PM.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.